back to Australia and congratulations on a great new CD with Dystopia. You must be very proud of this new set of songs. You've introduced two new members to the band. Tell us about new guitarist Kiko and what was it about him that caught your attention?
Well, Kiko is a guitar player from Brazil who has played with a band named Angra. He's great talent, and I discovered him while looking to find a new guitar player. And he has so many of the things I find valuable in a metal guitar player, which is not only the ability but attitude and appearance and also the personality, because when you're spending a lot of time together with a guy in a band, you want to make sure that you're friends, because the job is hard, and if you're around somebody who can't take it, sometimes you just kind of want to leave them behind.
What has Kiko been able to bring to Megadeth, especially in regards to the new album?
I think Kiko's brought a lot of different things. The flavor of the rhythm that is so predominant in South American music. Also, he has such a vast depth of guitar playing styles, besides just playing metal. Which really came. You'll see, like on tracks like Poisonous Shadows, he's playing piano on that song. And the very first note on the very first Megadeth record was a song called Last Rites, which started with piano. So piano's been in Megadeth's history.
How much of the album was written before Kiko joined, and had you already demoed some tracks?
Probably about a third of it, but you never really know what the finished product is until you're done. And if I looked at it like that and said, okay, from the finished product, how much of that is similar to the starting project, I don't know how much of it would still be the same. There was a lot of changes that we made, but it's like that with art. You just keep working until in the eye of the beholder, it's beautiful.
You've also brought in Chris Adler from Lamb of God to play drums on the new album. Chris has a very distinct drumming style. How has this altered the Megadeth sound on the new album?
I think it's made it really exciting. He's got a great jazzy kind of feel, and I think that there's a lot of things that Megadeth music has that a straight rock or a straight metal drummer would miss because of a lot of the pushes and the pulls and the upbeats and so on and so forth. There's a lot of strange time signature stuff too, and if you don't have that real exotic kind of approach towards drum playing, you're going to miss a lot of those pushes and pulls.
Had you guys been friends for a long time from previous tours with Lamb of God?
Chris and I had done one Gigantor a long time ago, and we are friends from the past. So it was pretty natural for us to do this. It wasn't so much like, are we going to be able to get along? It was like, when can we do it? And scheduling seems to be the biggest thing that gets in the way of the two of us playing together, because him with his other band and touring and stuff like that, and the time we had in the studio, he just came basically off tour and straight to the studio to be with me.
Have you noticed subtle changes in your own style from these lineup changes?
Well, I don't think so. I think what it's done is it's made it able for me to play riffs that I couldn't play with the other guys. Just certain stuff that needed a certain finesse to it, a certain kind of aggro kind of tension to it. And people can act mad. Everybody can get upset and try and blast out a beat or something like that. But there's a certain skill when you do it with panache and savoir-faire when you're playing. And most guys can just barrel down and do double bass and snare, and it's like, hey, that's great, but show me something that not everybody else in the world can do.
How long did you spend in pre-production for this album, and was all the music recorded first prior to working on lyrics and melodies?
Well, it depends, because if you go back to when we started it the summer before last, before the bottom fell out, when everybody went their separate ways, I could realistically say linearly it's been a while, but man hours, it wasn't a long time. We really started when Chris came out, and he came out in March the 15th, and we started tracking bass on April 9th, I think it was.
This collection of songs is so good that they sound like they should all be heard in live performance. How many do you see fitting into your live shows in the future?
Well, tonight, any live tracks off Dystopia will be limited to just Fatal Illusion, because that's the only track that's been serviced to the public so far. As we go through, hopefully the success of the record will garner us a lot of opportunity to play these new songs. We intend on dropping Threat is Real and the B-side of Foreign Policy for a record store day in America. Make a bunch of 12 inches, which those things will be like hen's teeth. They'll people will buy those and ship them all around the world. And then when the actual single does come out for Dystopia, you're going to have 4 songs out already that people are going to be digging on.
Who was the producer this time around, or was the album self-produced?
I did it myself. I started with a guy, and we nice guy, just wasn't the right chemistry. And then another guy came in, and he came in as an engineer, but he thinks that he was a producer, and it's like, nobody told you were a producer. So I told him, I said, you need to leave. And I finished it with a guy named Chris Rakestraw. I produced it. Chris co-produced it with me and engineered it.
The Threat Is Real, I believe, will be the next single. Can you tell us about the writing and recording of that track?
Yeah, The Threat Is Real is the opening track off the song and off the Dystopia record, and that was something that we wanted to kind of, again, approach a really tense topic, which is, the standoff that's going on around the world right now with proliferation of nuclear arms, and, Pakistan wanting a nuke, Saudi Arabia wanting one, all these other countries, Egypt wants one now. I mean, once you have one, it doesn't matter if one's too many. And right now, that I think that if you look at the way that metal music's always been popular during those kind of times, during the this world tension, if you will, it's a perfect time for a Megadeth record.